Good evening, classmates. And it's such a pleasure to talk to you once again. I I am for mandatory testing of drugs in the colleges and universities. And I'll tell you why. I recently read an article from PsychWatch where it stated that alcohol related arrests account for 83% of all campus arrests. Alcohol may be a factor in nearly 40% of academic problems and 28% of all instances of dropping out of college. Approximately 700,000 students each year are physically or emotionally traumatized or assaulted by a student driver. Binge drinking is tied to 1,700 deaths and 500,000 injuries every year. Now, what this has to do with drugs? Well, it has a lot. Because where there is drinking, you know drugs are involved. And these statistics that I just read to you from the Psych Watch, it's happening in colleges and universities right now. And that is a problem. Because my concern is I have fellow students, classmates, right now that you have young children, teenagers, and children that are in college. I have two grandboys. And is this what the future holds for them? To send them to colleges and universities? Thank you for the Christian colleges. I was looking up NIAG website to see what is our statement. And I think because we established that we are a Christian school and there are standards to be met and kept, you would not have the binge drinking and you would not have the drugs. Why? Why is there no reports? I'm not saying it. Maybe we may have some little drugs,
I'm not quite sure
here and there, but it is not as intense as what we are hearing or reading about some of these colleges and universities. Interesting thing that it stated also, it says that the survey suggested that students who binge drink in high school will most likely binge drink in college. So what does that say? If they start the habit from high school, it's going to continue if there is no restraint or if they were not called out in time. So the best thing is to get them. Our children are dying. They are dying. Is it because of lack of education? I don't believe so. But nevertheless, in our study, in our psychology book by Barlow, Barlow stated one large study found that almost 2/3 of college students in their fourth year have been offered illegal prescription stimulants and 31% use them, usually to improve studying. That I can understand. But do I condone it? No. We understand. As a cohort, we are stressed. We are under stress every day to fulfill and get our assignments in on time. It is stressful. We lead lives, we have full-time jobs, we are taking care of families, and we are holding our full-time schoolwork. So it's stressful. But thank God that we have God on our side. And while I was thinking about this video, I thought about the scriptures. And what scripture came to mind is Ephesians 6:10 and 12. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's scheme. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this world, and against the spiritual forces in heavenly realms. We know that because we are believers of Jesus Christ. But they don't know that. Some of the non-believers do not know that. And our Christian children and grandchildren are going into that atmosphere. So what do I say? We have to continue praying for our children and praying for the children that are out there. Because it's not flesh and blood they are fighting against. They also have tuitions and loans when they come out that they have to deal with. Now, I thank you for listening to my posts and welcome any feedback that you may have.